Who has ever become a millionaire on their own? Warren Buffett's 55-year wait to join took place. Jay Walker achieved membership in the Billionaires Club in less than a year. He introduced Priceline.com. During the dot-com bubble, his net worth went from zero to billions in an instant. But that wasn't sustainable because his net worth plummeted as soon as the bubble burst. Hello and welcome to KYC News. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Buffett, however, remains at the top of the list and doesn't appear to be moving down it. Not too soon. Forbes magazine, and you desire that type of money. Build. The game of money is difficult, not an easy one. It is brutally competitive, and you will fail if you don't know the rules. The issue with most people is that they may put in a lot of effort their entire lives yet still fail. Since they don't understand how the game works, they end up destitute. Consequently, if you wish to be on the other side of the coin, you'd better know the laws. Money does grow on trees is the first point. Although I'm sure many of you were taught the opposite, the truth is that if you think in this way, you will always remain in poverty. You cannot be traded. You must plant trees that will produce income if you intend to work for money all of your life. You money while you are away. Are you aware that it's not as simple as it seems? How challenging it is to plant a tree. You must first put the seed, but if seed is not placed in nutrient-rich soil, it is useless. You must water and care for the tree for it to grow, otherwise, it won't. It won't suddenly start to expand, for sure. Some trees actually live for 10, 20, or even 30 years. But as it gets older, it will continue to produce with the least amount of work. The same is true for assets. Once you establish a firm or accumulate sufficient funds to generate a profit, even when you are not present, an investment continues to provide income. Because eventually, even if you are healthy and young, you could become ill or old and not be able to continue working. If you don't plant enough, even if you're making $500 per hour, you could fall into poverty quickly. In your garden, trees. 2. There is no cap on the amount you can spend. When I was living paycheck to paycheck, I recall having a very tight budget. I used to believe that if I were to earn even a small amount more than I already do, I would begin investment, but in the end, all that happened was that I simply increased my spending. In reality, my expenses simply continued to rise while my income increased by multiples, increasing in height. If you don't set aside money and exercise self-control, you won't be able to save money for investments even if you try to stick to a budget. If you make $100 million a month, there are countless ways to spend it. So, instead of consistently raising your investment line, exercise self-control. To maintain a tighter budget. If Elon Musk could make it on $1 each day, you can undoubtedly get by in the United States with a few $100s. Don't get me wrong, enjoy the money you got via your labor of love and do anything you want with it. Despite your desire, you must maintain a budget that is less than your income. Purchase assets. 3. Money is a game you play all your life. When I started to take my investing and money seriously, I have this mental picture of when I begin earning so and so, I won't have to adhere to a strict spending plan, and I will finally enjoy the results of my labors when I retire. But everything that occurred when I began producing, I knew that wasn't enough and that I needed to increase my income because of it. In fact, it will stop making money if you quit managing it. Simply because you won't get tenants for a house right away. It may even become ill if you don't take care of it. Become a liability. The notion that you may literally produce an asset doing nothing is absurd. Even if you create a prosperous company, you will have rivals who will attempt to defeat you every day. Therefore, forget about retiring someday. You can automate part of your tasks. Generally speaking, this game never ends as long as you are alive, therefore cut back on your working hours. And a prime example are the world's wealthiest individuals, who work even when they're not need to. Probably the most significant lesson in this video is the following rule. 4. Your insecurities won't go away with money. We all experience insecurities, and frequently, we purchase that expensive automobile or relocate to a larger home. To gain acceptance or admiration from society, we may upgrade our phone or purchase a newer house. For a week or two, the pricey car will make you feel fantastic, but after that, it will become normal. But because of your persistent insecurities, you would prefer a better and more expensive car. It's a never-ending loop that keeps wealthy individuals in their positions. If acceptance is what you're after, work on controlling your emotions. Your insecurities will actually deplete your bank account, but they'll still be there. Instead, work on your social skills and education. Methods to increase your self-assurance. I'm not advocating against getting a fancy car or a private plane. Buy whatever you want, please. To overcome your insecurity, you want but don't act on it. They can do that more effectively and more affordably. 5. Don't disclose to others that you are wealthy. We enjoy boasting about our financial success. When it comes down to it, in the age of capitalism, generally speaking, most people believe that determines your social rank, although money attracts people like a magnet, which is a problem since then everyone would be friendly to you. Would like a portion of it. Of course, it will give you a sense of respect and well-being, but that will be at a cost that is not reasonable. And if they are unable to obtain it politely, they'll sue you and seek redress in court. That is the world we are living in. Don't let anyone know, even if you, God forbid, make $1 million annually. Stay modest, continue making more without boasting about it. 6. The biggest wealth transfers take place during crises. Due to businesses' inability to recover when the economy crashed in 2008, the jobless rate increased dramatically. Continue paying your bills. Many people lost their jobs, became homeless, and fell into poverty. But after the crises, several people aggressively started investing and significantly increased their fortune. Because economic crises are when the largest wealth transfers occur. You can succeed overnight if you're willing to seize the chance. Bear in mind that Jay Walker, whom we discussed at the beginning of the film, joined the in less than a year Billionaires Club, profited from the dot-com bubble. Despite his unsustainable fortune, he was nevertheless able to keep hundreds of millions. And bucks. Another illustration is Mark Cuban. You were fortunate to become a billionaire because if the 1998 financial crisis hadn't occurred, he wouldn't be a millionaire. The link to my video about him will be included. The explanation. Rather of viewing financial crises as a lie spread by the government or the top 1% to exploit the underprivileged as they do, it recognize the operation of the system, research to comprehend how and why past crises began, and to be prepared to be on the forefront when the subsequent one occurs. Side. 7. Your expenses will increase as you age. Have you ever noticed that you spend more money every single year, no matter what? Or when you were a teenager, $100 was a lot of money. Today, it barely pays your rent. Gas invoice. Your expenses will also continue to rise as you age. It is such by nature, especially if you start a family of our lives. The majority of people rarely worry about they are producing a respectable amount of money now, but when their expenses increase in the future, surpass their income, they begin griping that they don't have enough money to invest. Thus, if you do not ensure that your revenue is increasing each year, you will eventually fall into a trap. Yourself in a lifelong cycle of poverty marked by living paycheck to paycheck. And for that reason, you must take the next rule very carefully. 8. Wealth grows with time. Like a tree cannot be grown overnight, neither can money. Keep in mind that it is best to invest early. Using the strength of compounding, you can even with $100 wealthy. Why is obvious? What were you doing when the world's best investor began investing at the age of 11? You were 11. Fun fact, with just $11.60 invested, you can turn your grandchild into a millionaire. This is the same as the cost of a new smartphone because there won't be a single with further investment. It will increase to more than $1 million. You will probably die. I'm sure your grandchild will be grateful until then though. Suppose he doesn't have any greed and keeps it for his grandchild for a further 100 years. It will increase to about $1 billion. Of course, waiting so long is pointless. Yet, the sooner you begin, the quicker you will get to the point where you will have enough money to pay their payments without concern. Warren Buffett needed 55 years to reach his first $1 billion, but only 3 years to reach his second. $2 billion. In actuality, he made 98% of his fortune after turning 55. Conclusion: here they are, the 8 most crucial if you wish to become financially independent. You should remember certain financial laws. Then what is one of these 8 rules that you prefer? Tell me in the comments section below. Thank you for watching, and until next time.